you identified the fingerprints?
Sure did.
Oh, boy, I hope I can get it to the courtroom on time. Whose are they?
Babs, you know that's classified info.
Yeah, I classify you, but I gotta get these to Harold on time.
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, don't tell me. This is an old Phillips Christmas tradition. One day you put up the decorations, the next day you take them down, right up till Christmas, right? It's a little joke.
What do you mean?
Stacy, are you all right?
Why do you ask?
Well, the garland.
Oh, you know, I was thinking about our plans. Did you really mean what you said when you asked me to marry you?
Sure I did. Here.
Then I thought I'd start packing now.
Now?
I don't want to wait any longer. And the sooner I can get my things together, then the sooner we can finalize our plans to leave. Well, don't you think?
Yeah, sure. Stacy, you seem so anxious. To leave, I mean. Wouldn't you rather wait a little longer?
No, why?
Your father, for one thing.
My father's going to be condemned to die.
But the trial's not even over yet.
It will be. Probably in the next couple days, and then the verdict's going to come in. Guilty.
Well, how can you say that?
The verdict will be guilty. And I don't want to be here when that happens.
Well, your father could be innocent, you know.
So what? It won't be the first time an innocent man is proven guilty. I want to run away from all of this. I'm tired, worn out.
It's okay, Stacy. I love you.
And you'll take me away from Kingsley and away from all of this as soon as you can.
If that's what you want.
Oh, yes, please.
Well, Stacy, we still have some planning that we have to do.
Well, what's the weather like in North Carolina now?
Cool, but not as cool as it is here.
Have you told your father and your sister yet about our plans?
I'll call him tonight.
Good. Then ask them to start looking for an apartment. Or better yet, a house.
Stacy, I still have things that I have to clear up at the office before I leave. You understand that, don't you? Stacy?
Just as long as we go away together?
We will. Everything will be all right. I promise.
So what are you doing here? How are you, Lance? Oh, I'm just great. You know, I got a nice little place here. I got a nice little home. I got good food, good service. You know, I even got my own little bodyguard over there. What are you doing here? I want to see you. I want to visit with you. Why? Because you're my brother. What's that matter to you? Doesn't to me. Well, then we're different there. I know you think that the family doesn't mean much to you, but you still are my brother. So you decided to stop by on your way to Montreal. That's very sweet of you, Jeremy. You got all the facts wrong, Lance. You're jumping to conclusions here. Oh, I am? Well, for one, I'm residing in Kingsley now. You left Mama? I was offered a job at the Kingsley Museum. Mother had a choice, either joining me or staying in Montreal. She wanted to stay there. So here's Mama's boy without Mama. Why are you doing this? You know I don't like being called that. You surprised me, though. After 30 years, you left home. I don't think you're gonna make it on your own. I'll make it. How are they treating you around here? Well, it's like this, baby brother. Would you stop the name calling? You're still a little touchy about being second, huh? You know, you always were second next to me, don't you? Look, Lance, I didn't have to come here. I came here because I wanted to. Now, I know there's differences between you and me, but you're still family. Jeremy, that is so touching. I really think I ought to cry. There's something else I wanted to talk to you about. Mother hasn't forgotten you. We read about you in the papers. She still loves you. She does. Why don't you write her? Christmas is coming up. She'd love to hear from you. And if you want, I'll try to bring you some paper and pen. You will, huh? Yeah.
Okay, Lancelot, time's up.
Hey, yeah. Why don't you do that? Why don't you bring me that paper and pen? I will. And if there's something else I can get for you, I'll try to get it too. I want to help if I can, Lance. You do that.
Peter, hi.
Mom?
Excuse me, Jean. Do you know where Dave is?
No, Terry, I don't.
Didn't you leave with Dave and Harold?
Well, yeah, we left the courthouse together, and then I came over here. But, oh, yes, I do. I think they said they were going to have lunch over at Leon's.
Well, guess I'll catch up with them at the courthouse.
Okay.
But since I'm here, I think I'll have a little chat with my son.
Mom, come
Could
on.
we go somewhere to talk?
If Mr. McGovern catches me goofing off, I'm...
No, you won't be goofing off if you just talk with me for a few minutes.
Okay, come. Oh, what is it?
Does the name Courtney ring a bell?
Vague, yeah.
Vague. It's a good choice of words. Vague is the way I describe what you told me about the Christmas formal. Now, if you'll remember when she was over yesterday, she filled me in on quite a bit. That, but also that her last name was Carpenter, as in carpenter.
I just didn't mention it. Looked at, and, what difference does it make anyway?
Well, that depends on you.
I don't understand.
Look, Peter, I think that Courtney is a very nice young girl. But she did tell me that there are some problems back home.
Are there?
Now, I hope you don't intend to get involved in those problems, whatever they are.
Mom, you're the one that always told me to get involved.
Yes, you're right. But what I meant is don't get involved in situations that don't concern you.
If you're comparing this to Vicky, don't.
Terry, have you seen him?
Who?
Harold. He isn't at the courthouse anywhere. Never mind, there's Jean. I'll ask him. Jean, have you seen Harold? Ayaan
Babs?
told me that the three of you guys left the courthouse together.
Yeah, well, we came over here together, but they went to lunch. Harold and
Lunch?
Dave, they went to lunch.
Lunch where?
At Leon's.
Oh, brother, here I go again.
Wait a minute. Hey, Babs. Hey, what's so urgent?
I don't understand why I can't find a note. And Babs usually leaves me something to let me know where she's gone, when she'll be back.
Maybe she stepped out for a few minutes.
Yeah, maybe she did. I don't know. I talked to her this morning. She didn't say a word about leaving early. And she usually has lunch way before now. Nah, I'm not going to spend all morning worrying about her. I got other things to do.
Well, at least you found the trial papers you were looking for.
Yeah. Found them.
Harold, you haven't said much about Lockwood's summation since we left the courtroom.
Yeah, you noticed that.
Is that because you think that he's convinced the jury of my guilt?
Oh, no, Dave, I didn't say that. No, I mean, it's true that Lockwood presented a pretty good summation for prosecution, but, you know, I've been going over that summation in my mind, and so I can present the best possible defense. I don't think he's done so well.
Harold, I really want to thank you.
What for?
For trusting me. For believing in my innocence from the start without any real evidence.
Dave, I know you couldn't have killed anybody.
Yes. But you trusted me. And I want you to know I appreciate that no matter what happens.
You're not giving up now, are you?
Oh, no, I'm not giving up, but I have to face facts. And if that jury finds me guilty, at least I know I've had the best possible defense.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for saying that. You know, there have been times in my career, even recently, when I was actually ashamed of what I did. Back when I was working with Carpenter and Cardello and those people. I wasn't breaking the law. I was doing my job. I'm making plenty of money. But I sure wasn't happy. And I know now that the reason for that was that deep down inside, I knew I was on the wrong side. And working with you, handling your defense has helped me to understand how good it can make you feel when you're on the right side. I just want you to know that when I go back into that courtroom, I'm going to do everything in my power to convince that jury that you're innocent.
Look, do me a favor, will you?
What?
Put this back on.
Why? We won't be in Kingsley by Christmas. At least I hope not.
Well, let's just keep the decorations up until we leave, okay? As a favor to me?
That'll make you happy.
Good. Oh, you, haven't finished setting this up yet, have you?
I had it up, but I started taking it down.
Why?
When, Amber and Kevin and I were young, Mom would have each of us set the pieces around. Amber would take Mary and Joseph, and then Kevin would take the shepherds, and then we'd all set the animals around.
What about the baby Jesus?
Mom asked me to put the baby in his crib. But that was a long time ago. Why do things have to change?
That's life, Stacy. We change, we grow.
I'd like to be a little girl again. Before Daddy started drinking and before the accident. I miss my mother and Kevin. Everybody's gone, really. Amber hates me, and Dad's going to be committed, and I feel so alone.
You're not alone, Stacy. I'm here. And I'll never leave you. I promise.
All I know is Babs came running up in a hurry just as I was getting out of my car. She wanted to know where you were.
And you told her I was with Jean and Dave, huh?
Yeah, she said she was heading for the paper next.
Which is where Jean and I saw her. And he told her that you two were having lunch at Leon's.
Well, yeah, but we didn't stay there.
No, we went back to Harold's office.
Did she say what was so important?
Not to me.
Me neither.
I wonder.
All rise. The District Court at Kingsley is now in session. The Honorable Judge Timothy Sawyer presiding.
Be seated. We are here in the matter of the People versus David Phillips. Mr. Webster, are you ready to give your concluding summation?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what I want to do here is just kind of real quickly review some of the facts that were brought out during this trial and some of the ground that we covered. Now, first of all, you've heard a number of highly respected citizens of the Kingsley community, Dr. Ben Martin, nurse Lucille Figgins, testify about the honesty and the character of Dr. Phillips. You will remember, of course, that Nurse Figgins was the person who was responsible for that very unfortunate switch in medications on that night. You also know that Dr. Phillips is an alcoholic, but one who has not touched alcohol in at least 2 years. And you also know, ladies and gentlemen, that he is a man of very strong religious conviction. It is this same strong conviction that would not allow him to take another person's life. Now, the prosecution has presented what it believes to be an adequate defense or prosecution. I'm sure they believe that they have presented enough evidence that you will decide that Dr. Phillips is guilty. But I would like to remind you of one simple fact, and that is that the prosecution is not the one who has the responsibility for deciding the guilt or innocence of the defendant. You are. For that reason, I want to ask you to very carefully weigh all of the evidence, all of the information that has been presented to you. Is there a reasonable doubt? Is it possible that some other friend of the deceased had both the motive and the opportunity to commit this crime? I'd also like to remind you that the 2 daughters of the defendant here have presented conflicting testimony about his nature. Who do you believe? If there is the slightest doubt in your mind, then there is a reasonable doubt, and you have to find the defendant not guilty. Now, while you're considering, while you're weighing all of these possibilities in your mind, I want you also to consider the following facts, which are contradictory to the conclusions drawn by the prosecution about certain police evidence. First of all, when the defendant was arrested, mud was found caked on his shoes. We've heard Rose Montero's testimony. Some of that same mud was found on the carpet in Kate Carruthers' home. However, at Amber Phillips' apartment, the scene of the crime, there is no mud whatsoever found in the carpet. Therefore, the prosecution has not proved that the defendant even got out of the car once he parked in the parking lot at Amber Phillips' apartment. Then there's the matter of the murder weapon, the gun. It is true that it was found no more than 10 feet from the defendant's car, but there were no fingerprints on it. Therefore, anybody at all could have dropped that gun there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your profound responsibility to consider all of this evidence, to weigh it, to reflect on it, and then to decide the guilt or innocence of Dr. Dave Phillips.
Guess who? Come on, don't I get a hint? This is tough. Walter McGovern, now come on.
Guess again.
Okay, if it's not Walter McGovern, it's gotta be Gary.
Oh, please.
Okay. No? Okay. Hey, feels like a carpenter. Miriam, how are you?
You're getting warmer.
Okay, is that girl from Chicago? That freshman? What's her name from Lake Forest? Could it be?
Well, turn around and find out for yourself.
What are you doing here? Hi. Hey, I'm glad to see you. And surprised.
More glad or more surprised?
Even, yeah. Just about the same. What are you doing here?
Would you believe I was in the neighborhood and thought I'd stop by?
No.
Neither would I. Actually, I kind of knew you'd be here. I have a favor to ask of you.
Okay, what is it?
Oh, it's a good favor. I don't have to tell you that classes will be over soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was kind of looking for an excuse to stay in Kingsley a little longer.
You don't sound too eager to go.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
So, what are we gonna do next week?
Go see some movies.
Boring.
Okay, let's play some racquetball.
Let's do something outside, okay? I am so sick of being cooped up in classrooms and dorm rooms and newsrooms.
Super. Outside.
Like
Fun.
what?
Let me surprise you.
Uh-oh.
No, it's gonna be good. Promise.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Okay, well, all right. I need a hint. On a scale of 1 to 10, how romantic do you want it to be? 5, 6, 10. Whew. Okay.
Call me later?
You bet.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is one more matter which I would like to stress, especially. Convicting the defendant, but asking for a more lenient sentence should not be an option here. If a justifiable doubt is raised, the defendant has to be exonerated. If you have any nagging doubts whatsoever, do not try to assuage those fears by asking for a shorter prison term. If you have any doubts at all, then the defendant has to be set free.
Harold, I've got it.
Courtroom will come to order.
He identified the fingerprints.
Mr. Webster.
Yes, Your Honor. Where did you get this? Your Honor.
Mr. Webster.
Yes, Your Honor, please, if I may beg the court's indulgence, I have been given some evidence here which is pertinent to this case.
Counselor, this is highly irregular.
Yes, sir, Your Honor, I realize that it is, but I just need a few minutes to review this new information.
What's all this about?
Just another attempt at grandstand. Your Honor, I object.
Please, Your Honor, just a few minutes.
Although this is highly irregular at this point in the proceedings, all right, I'm going to grant your request, but please be brief.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You wouldn't believe what I went through to get this. I mean, I've been to Leon's diner, I've been to the office, I've been... what's the matter, Harold?
Harold, what is it?
Well, whose prints are they, anyway?
I don't believe this.